Northeast Tonight, powered by Oil India Limited.
Coming up from the Northeast Live Studios in Guwahati, Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain.
Hello and welcome to Northeast Tonight, the show that decodes the region. Political temperatures are rising in Assam for the three-phase elections that begins on the 19th of April. The ruling BJP is visibly ahead in the campaigning, with Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma embarking on a campaign blitzkrieg across eastern Assam, where the first phase of voting will take place. The BJP has dropped 5 sitting MPs and has brought in new faces besides giving opportunities to some old party veterans. Moreover, the BJP is harping on the party's development agenda and the work done under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The Congress in Assam, on the other hand, is faced with desertions. Several top party leaders, including working President Rana Goswami, have left the Congress and have since joined the BJP. Chief Minister Dr. Sharma, meanwhile, has set the cat among the pigeons by saying several times in the past weeks that Assam Congress President Bhupen Bora is himself joining the BJP by 2025 ahead of the 2026 State Assembly polls, a claim Bora is struggling to deny and set at rest. While the BJP is firmly poised with its allies intact, the Congress has virtually no allies at all, except in Dibrugarh, where the party left the seat to a regional party candidate Lurin Jyoti Gogoi of the Assam Jatiyo Parishad. And the AIUDF, the erstwhile ally of the Congress, has snapped ties with the grand old party but is contesting only 3 seats this time. Is it going to be a cakewalk for the BJP? Let's debate. On the panel tonight, I have writer and commentator Mayur Bora. Advocate Guwahati High Court Bijon Kumar Mahajan is also with me in the studios. Dr. Baharul Islam, a political analyst, is joining me. Professor Vikas Tripathi from Guwahati University is also with me. And from Shillong, I am joined by Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, professor at NEHU and a leading commentator. Gentlemen, welcome to Northeast Tonight. Now, sitting at a distance, Mr. Baharul Islam, you know the inside workings of the AIUDF. There were a lot of rumors that you are also going to contest on the AIUDF party ticket this time, but that did not happen. You are back in your academic institution, back to base. Now the point is, from a distance, Dr. Islam, is there a fight at all in Assam? What is your view? Because visibly, we can see the BJP far ahead in the campaigning. Congress is struggling with its desertions. People are leaving the party. And the AIUDF, its seriousness has come into question because the party is contesting only 3 seats. So how do you see it?
Thank you for calling me here. Yes, I see this is a foregone conclusion. The BJP strategically, political campaign-wise, they are well ahead. And for various reasons, we could not do it. Many other parties could not do it because of their own internal weaknesses. But for me, what is interesting to note, and I'm studying this very closely now for a few months, is what I can call is a new Stockholm syndrome. If perhaps you are and your viewers are familiar with this syndrome,
yes,
that when the hostages get in love with the captors. So now the minority communities in Assam, and I am looking at their political trend, a large number of them are now inclined towards BJP. because of various reasons. But one of the thing is that that kind of psychological blockade, they are now surrendering to the hostage situation and trying to get as much as possible whatever imaginary or realistic benefit from the ruling BJP. Particularly, if I'm focusing on Karimganj district, we are seeing a large number of minority voters are now joining BJP from every parties. Having said that, this is the new addition to it. Aside the weaknesses of the opposition parties in strategizing their political space, the new syndrome is that a large number of minority voters will be now going towards BJP in a kind of helpless situation, or as I said, the Stockholm syndrome situation.
So, Dr. Islam, that means the opposition has failed to provide a working alternative. People have no faith in the opposition's ability to provide an alternative to the BJP. Is that what you are saying?
Yes, there is a basic dishonesty and insincerity. Everybody is trying to take shortcuts. Looking at the whole political game scenario for the last 20 years, particularly with a particular party, and also looking at other parties also, everybody comes down to some kind of, tricky, shortcuts in politics. Nobody wants to do, for example, if we want to do a educational awareness program or anything, any constructive mass-based program, which others are like Prashant Kishore is doing in Bihar, this kind of scenario could not evolve. Everybody wants shortcut, money will work, people talk about money and all that. And that's why they are falling into the trap of their own, you can say, age-old conventional electioning system. In today's digital media, the content, the narrative, everything can be said if it is strategically used and planned wise.
Right.
But unfortunately, many of the opposition today are themselves hostages to the ruling party. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'll come back to you. That's a very significant statement that you had made. Even the opposition are hostages to their. Let me come to Mr. Mayur Bora. I'll come to you, Mr. Bijan Mahajan,
Yes,
Dr. Vikas Tripathi, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas. But let me come quickly to Mr. Mayur Bora. Mr. Mayur Bora, if we look at the agenda, if we look at the focus in Assam, the BJP is talking about development. BJP is harping on the development strategy, development plank. They have said that there's been enough good work, whether it is infrastructure, whether it is other things, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Whereas the Congress is only talking against the BJP. So do you think the BJP is talking on the development plank, and that is going to come in handy for the party this time?
So, not only development, you are very right that BJP has been telling about that the development is the main plank, and once the Prime Minister comes again with absolute majority for the third term, BJP will be able to do much more for the people. That's what Himanta Biswa Sarma and all other leaders have been telling. There is nothing wrong about it, and it's correct also. And the disconnect between the Congress and the BJP in terms of election campaigning, one doing only the anti-BJP campaign, whereas the BJP is flagging or underlining only the development part very, very adroitly. I think the disconnect is widening. Congress, as we all know, because of various reasons, it is in total disarray, where the Chief Minister himself has very astutely set a narrative saying that Bhupen Bora, you have already mentioned, is going to join the BJP party, and we have decided about the other things also, that 2 constituencies are there, and if he wants to become Chief Minister, he can only become from BJP and all. So all BJP, the Congress, which was organizationally disorganized, I think that intellectually also, and they have not been able to size up the situation and come up to the occasion. Here, only thing we have seen that in Jorhat, because of the factor that Gaurav Gogoi has been consistently flagging the issue of the country, the pluralism, diversity, secularism, and has been attacking the Modi government on justifiable reasons on many occasions, he has been able to get some traction. But to what extent ultimately he is going to, whether he will be able to defeat the incumbent candidate Mr. Tapan Gogoi, that is also a $1 million question.
Right.
So you are very right when you say that development, but hand in hand, at the same time, if that is the master narrative, there are some other small narratives also, which has also slightly changed, as Dr. Islam was telling, the Stockholm syndrome and the captors getting in love with the, the hostage getting in love with the captor. Similarly, Chief Minister here and many other leaders have also been telling that this time the minority Muslim ladies and women are also going to vote for us. So if development is the master narrative, there are some other small narratives also which may make some big difference ultimately at the time of the result.
Let me turn to Bijon Mahajan. Mr. Bijon Mahajan, Advocate, Guwahati High Court. Now, you at one point you were very active with the BJP and you are even a spokesperson of the BJP. Now, my question is, where a lot of people, the opposition thought that, they are going to harp on the Citizenship Amendment Act issue and they are going to polarize the voters and that is going to come in very handy for them. Now, my question to you is that, this time after the CAA became a law, after the laws were framed for CAA, everybody thought that there is going to be some disturbances in Assam, etc. But nothing of that sort happened. That means people have decided on development, people are happy with the development plan. Do you agree with this view or how do you look at it?
Well, absolutely. But first and foremost, you see, you cannot doing the people like this. It was opposed. Somebody may like it, somebody may not like it. That's besides the point. But when became an act, the rules were not framed then.
Yeah.
Most of the, political parties or student organization, whatever be it, they approach the apex court. You cannot. You mean to say when the matter is sub judice? No, absolutely. When you take a movement right onto the street and at the same time you knock the court of the apex court, this is ludicrous. It cannot happen because if the apex court says there are is ultra vires the Constitution of India, in that event, everyone has to accept it. Everyone has to accept it. Those who are opposing it, even the government. But if the apex court says that it is a good law, in that event, everyone has to accept it. So why waste normal people's time, life, everything by going to the streets? This is a joke. May be bad, may be good. That is to be decided on the floor of the court now. That right. To the highest court on, so far as India is concerned. Everyone must respect it. And even after knocking the doors of the Honorable Apex Court, somebody, the organizations, they talk about agitation, going to the streets. This is a joke. This cannot happen. People have now realized. If right. is bad, it can only be struck down now by the court. At this point of time, because there are 4 pillars of democracy, judiciary as well. So whatever can be done, if something is to be done, as regards that it is a bad law, it can be struck down only by the apex court, by nobody, no one else. So agitations, wasting people's time, money, everything is not in accordance with whatever the society needs.
What you are saying, Mr. Bijon Mahajan, is that if you believe in the court of law, if you believe
you are bound to believe in a court of law being an Indian citizen.
If you believe in the Indian constitution, if you are an Indian, you have to go by the Indian judicial process, and therefore, since you have also knocked at the doors of the court, you have to keep your whatever agitation in abeyance.
No, I am very specific.
Yeah.
You cannot eat the cake and have it too.
Absolutely.
Go to the streets, the cake is right on the street, and the cake is on the floor of the court because you have knocked the doors of the Honorable Apex Court.
Right.
So we are all reasonable people. Right. Even the leaders on the other side also reasonable people. Reason should, take its own place. Let us wait for the court verdict.
Absolutely.
And everything will be honky-dory.
So agitation in these circumstances has no locus
useless, pointless, not necessary.
Absolutely. Let me go to Professor
And that is why it has been rejected by the people.
Exactly.
Because they know, leaders may not know, people know that it is on the floor of the Apex Court, and whatever the judgment verdict the court gives, everyone will have to accept it. Be it, let it be the government or let it be the agitating organization.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have clarified the point. That is the moot point. Let me turn to Professor Vikas Tripathi. I am coming to you in a minute, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas. Professor Vikas Tripathi, the India Alliance, initially there was a lot of euphoria, 15 parties, 12 parties, etc. got together. But it was a non-starter as far as Assam was concerned right from the beginning. And later on, when at the national level, when the India Alliance did not work out, whether it is the AAP putting up candidates, whether it is the Trinamool Congress saying that no, we have nothing to do, we are on our own, this and that. So Assam also, it had its effect right from the start, because the AIUDF said that we have nothing to do with the Congress party. So do you think that had also had initially shaken? There is no coherent opposition. There is no opposition alliance at all. There is no coherent challenge to the BJP in Assam. Do you agree with this, or how do you look at it?
Actually, I'll take you a bit back. What happened in the assembly election, the election that was fought against the background of intense car mobilization in the state, and despite AIUDF and Congress coming together, the Congress and AIUDF could only retain decent vote share and seat share in those constituencies of Barak Valley and Lower Assam which are minority dominated. And gradually that was the time also when Congress and AIUDF could not develop a long-term perspective over containing the BJP. And the problem to contain BJP is structural, because even if Congress and AIUDF come together, they are not able to contest BJP dominance in the Upper Assam. BJP is no longer a majority party in Assam. BJP is a dominant party. It is a party that is involved in agenda setting. It is a party which which has more than 45% vote share in Upper Assam, from where you get the maximum seats, and the alliance does not. Any kind of alliance between Congress and AIUDF is not workable to stop the BJP dominance in Upper Assam. And so AIUDF also, see, this is politics is all about seeking power, and AIUDF also realized that in the scenario, the best possible electoral and political interest for AIUDF is to mark its distance from the Congress, having realized that Congress is not able to bring back the Hindu votes that have shifted to the BJP despite aligning it with. So because once you do alliance, the alliance always happens so that transfer of seats and transfer of votes happen, but that did not materialize in case of. And thus you see that today the situation is that ethnic mobilization have been overtaken by religious polarization in Assam. And the intensity is so high that AIUDF also thinks that that the best possible for it is to contest in those regions which are minority dominated. And if even if you see at the national scenario, even if Congress contest AIUDF in those seats where AIUDF is contesting, it is not in a position to switch away those traditional voters of AIUDF. So the possibility of alliance politics are very limited for this reason, because eventually it is the Upper Assam which has to be shaken. Right. So long as Upper Assam remains the citadel of BJP, BJP is going to be the dominant player. And second, there are two major things which are contributing to BJP's strength. One is that it is very clear about its ideological goalpost. And second is the party structure. If you go and talk about what is BJP's ideology to their voters and their cadres, and there would be some clarity. But if you go and talk to opposition in this regard, this confusion about what is it that they are fighting.
So the objective is not really clear. That's what Professor Vikas Tripathi is saying.
The singularization of election that Congress has been doing is not helping its cause. They singularized the election around Ka and Cab in 2019 and 2021, but it did not materialize into conversion of vote share into seat share. Understand,
and they are doing the same thing even now.
Even now. See, understand that Congress is a party which has both legacy and traditional voters. So it would have vote share. But
Right.
to convert that vote share into seat share, you require more than legacy and traditional bastion.
Okay, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you, Professor Vikas Tripathi. Let me go to Dr. Prasenjit Biswas. Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, you know, why do you think, okay, we understand the reasons why the Congress and the AIUDF failed to come to an alliance. Okay, understood. Now, why is it that the AIUDF is contesting only 3 seats? Do you think that the Congress is a bigger enemy today, in this date today, for the AIUDF than even the BJP? Do you think that the AIUDF's decision to contest only 3 seats is definitely helping the BJP?
I don't exactly subscribe to that kind of a point of view, because each political party has its own agenda, its own vote base. It cannot be complicated by saying that there is an evil, unseen nexus between one and the other. That may not be the case at all. AIUDF has its distinctive voter base, and based on that and based on its calculation of winnability, it is contesting 3 seats. On the other hand, Congress is doing its best to combine with the opposition. Except in Borpeta seat, Congress has successfully wielded an opposition unity in Assam, which is undeniable at this point of time.
What is the opposition unity in Assam?
No, there's an opposition unity in Assam, all said and done. Whether opposition unity succeeds or not succeeds is another question.
No, who have united with the Congress?
You can see 3 Gogois. First of all, 3 young faces of Assam. They're together. They're together with significant opposition voices from Barak Valley, from Lower Assam, Western Assam. And you can see people are coming together in the platform of opposition. Now, BJP is able to mobilize its own support base. But in spite of all that, it doesn't go beyond 40 to 45% votes, as Professor Tripathi was pointing out. Therefore, I would say that BJP's politics is rather unilateral. It has a well-defined polarizing strategy. And now that electoral bond story is out, you don't think that intelligent people don't take note of all this. BJP's emphasis on corruption is entirely misplaced. It is acting like a washing machine, as it is said in the national media. So I think a substantial number of people are also affected by the counter narrative that is coming at this point of time. With Kejriwal Saab's arrest, there is a substantial amount of disaffection towards the policies of Bharatiya Janata Party and Honorable Prime Minister.
But we have the courts. We have the court of law.
No, court of law cannot rescue Prime Minister. Court of law is rather turning against BJP's policies. You can see, if we have understood the implication of the legal judgments, the EVM discussion that is happening in Supreme Court, the discussion on electoral bond that has happened in Supreme Court, if you have followed this, and many people have followed this in Assam and elsewhere in the Northeast, we can see that the Supreme Court is anxious, worried about a majoritarian democracy.
Prasenjit Biswas, elections is all about winning, all about grabbing power. But the point
but
is,
only
where is the except for leaving the Dibrugarh seat to Lurin Jyoti Gogoi of the Assam Jatiya Parishad, where is the opposition unity in Assam? Show me that. Tell me that.
The opposition is united. Congress is united. Opposition parties to a large extent. AIUDF is on the other side of the spectrum within opposition. There is a division, but there is also a certain kind of a sharing of the vote base between AIUDF and Congress as well. And it's not the case that votes are divided in Assam in terms of Hindu and Muslim, though BJP is trying to polarize it. What is the impact of Ram Mandir?
But the chief minister of Assam is saying that, as you said, not you, as I think Vikas Tripathi said, or Mayur Bora said right at the beginning, Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma has said on record that most of the Muslims, minorities, women particularly in the Char areas, they have made up their mind to vote for the BJP because of the development that is coming their way.
No, development plank is an honest plank, and it must be transparent, it must be inclusive. to what extent after evictions, so many kinds of discrimination that have happened even in Assam. We can go by claims of a politician, howsoever much respected Honorable Chief Minister is. So the question is, you can see the vibes here.
Now,
The vibe is to capture the votes, but whether both voters are willing to do that or not is the question.
But anyway, I'll come to Dr. Baharul Islam. But we must also not forget the fact that Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma had made it very clear that we do not want votes from the Muslims of the settlers and all that. So that was also on record.
Since Wasbir, since I
yes.
initially said that, because I said that not to applaud what he has told. He has told, you are very right, initially that I don't want votes of these people, this section of the people, which I feel personally is not required, somewhat unacceptable in a democracy. Secondly, now I say that in the interest of creating some small narratives among or surrounding the master narrative of development, now he has said the Muslim women may vote for us. So I told that in that context only how BJP is trying to adroitly create a narrative in which by hook or by crook.
Expects votes from every community.
Yeah, they
that
community,
is what these elections are all
but
about.
there has to be a limit to which you will expect it. See,
if
on
the
one
Congress
hand,
can say, if the Congress today can say that the traditional vote bank, the tea garden workers are going to definitely vote for the Congress, they're free to say that. Everybody expects votes from every single community because every single vote is important, isn't it?
No, but Wasbir, if you want to strengthen democracy in the true sense, I think more than the opposition, we should be able to question the governments, the power that be. I think that is the most important job of a journalist, most important job for a people like us. And that's what we have been consistently doing. We are not here only to oppose or at some point of time, now BJP and Congress. What I am trying to say, see, I said in public forum many times, after the Pran Pratishtha of the temple, whether I personally like it or dislike it, I wanted all Karyakartas, workers of BJP, that from now onwards, let us do the Pran Pratishtha of constitutional ethos. But what we have been seeing and what we have been hearing before the election of polarization and other things, it goes counter to the Pran Pratishtha of Marjada Purushottam Ram. That is the disconnect I am trying to flag, underline, amplify. And people should know about this. I think Professor Biswas also
agreeing
on that.
I'll be on absolutely. Whatever I have heard, one thing has been repeatedly said, that, you see, all these agencies are good, bad and ugly besides the point. Enforcement Directorate, National Investigating Agency,
CBI,
Central Bureau of Investigation, these are central agencies. Good, bad, ugly, let us forget it. If some arrest is bad in law, who will act? The courts will act. Have you seen any FIR being quashed in these circumstances, including Delhi Chief Minister? Have you understood me? Have any FIR been quashed till date? Somebody may have got bail after being incarcerated for a pretty long time. Where bail is the rule, jail is not the rule.
But in PMLA it is the other way around. In PMLA it is the other way around.
Please don't interrupt. I never interrupted when you said. Let me complete it. When investigating agencies arrest, if they arrest without any cogent material, the courts are there. The courts should have interfered. All these affairs, so many political arrests, people say, you belong to a particular political party or subscribe to a particular political view. Don't say these sort of things. The courts are there to interfere if some wrong arrest has been made. Because Article 21, no person shall be deprived of his life and liberty except according to procedure established by law. In all these arrests, so-called political, people say from the other spectrum, have a single affair been quashed till date? Somebody may have got bail after he being incarcerated for a pretty long time. Investigation is to continue. If there is corruption, investigating agencies will act. If the arrest is bad, without cogent materials, the courts are independent, the courts are there to interfere. Is any court in India, in all these so-called political arrests, have quashed any affair? This is my question.
Okay.
I am a student of law. I am a student of law. and being a student of law,
Yeah.
this is the right perspective.
I'll have to go for a break, but more
I have
quick
a question.
response. I'll go for
I
a
have a
break.
question. See, in the Indian jurisprudence, the underlying principle is bail is the expected thing and jail is the exception. Whereas in case of PMLA, because it has been made very stringent and rightfully so, for some reasons, it is the other way around. So now what has happened, like this is one way of intimidating the political opponents where process itself becomes a punishment. That is what we are trying to hint at. Let me give only one example. See, as a citizen of this country, if I ask that one particular individual, Mr. I think Ajit Pawar, has been named by the Honorable Prime Minister, that he will go to jail and this and that, and the next day he comes to the other side, Professor Prasenjit Biswas' nomenclature of that washing machine comes very apparent in everyone's life. So those things,
All right,
if it happens,
I've taken
we
your
have
point.
to ask
I've
questions.
taken your point.
Can I
There will be counter. No, there will be counter arguments.
Can I put in a line? If some law is bad, challenge the virus of it. Don't talk about it in talk shows. If virus of a law is bad, challenge it in a court of law. It will go. Has anyone challenged it? And if somebody has challenged it, I'll not name the laws. Those have been kept, not made ultra virus the constitution of India.
Okay,
So one has to say everything in right perspective and telling the truth. No political views, only whatever is the truth, because judiciary is concerned.
I'll have to
When
go for a short
judiciary is
break.
concerned, if some wrong has been committed, it can be undone only by the judiciary.
I'll have to go for a I'll have to go for a short break.
Democratic setup, we have to utilize all forum to strengthen democratic
Yes.
ethos. That's what we have been doing.
But so far
yes.
as
Somebody
direct
will
are
go
concerned,
to- somebody will talk
nobody
in
else
the
can
council.
undo
Let me
it.
tell you,
Nobody
let me
else
tell you,
can
Bizon,
undo it.
Bizon,
No,
let me
not the
tell
other
you.
pillars,
Let
only
me
the
tell you.
judiciary.
Bizon, please.
That is the truth and that is the law in
Bizon
India
Mahajan.
and that is the Indian criminal justice
Bizon
delivery
Mahajan,
system.
that is true. I take your point, but also I'll insist that everybody has a right to put forward that point. On that note, I'll go for a short break. Don't go away. When I come back, I'll go straight to Dr. Baharul Islam and Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, Dr. Vikas Tripathi. Don't go away. I'm back soon.
Brightest Entertainment Private Limited presents Rong Bahanta Utsav 2024, co-presented by Patanjali Mustard Oil, co-powered by Everyday Spices, associate partner Real Fruit Power, Assam Downtown University, special partner Annapurna, Dil Se Pure, banking partner SBI, the banker to every Indian, gift partner LG, Life's Good, radio partner Big FM.
आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाचो गाओ मस्ती में आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में
रोहन কি কৰিছা
স্কুল প্লেট ফ্ৰগ হ'ব দিছে
মজিয়া বনোৱা হয় লৰালি কালৰ বাবে লৈ আহক নিমেৰে প্ৰস্তুত নিমাইল ইয়াৰ 100% প্ৰাকৃতিক ক্ৰিয়াই মজিয়া কৰি তোলে সেফ নিমাইল খুব শান্তিৰ মজিয়া
পতঞ্জলিৰ বিশুদ্ধ সৰিয়হৰ তেলৰ সৈতে প্ৰতিটো পৰিয়ালৰে এয়াই কাহিনী এই তেলৰ তীব্ৰতা এনেকুৱা যে বৈ আহে চকুৰে পানী আৰু সোৱাদ এনে যে মুখলৈকে লৈ আহে পানী সোৱাদ আৰু বিশুদ্ধতাৰ সংযোগ পতঞ্জলি সৰিয়হৰ তেল
প্ৰথম পিম্পল
তেন্তে কি কৈছে তোমাৰ ইনফ্লুৱেঞ্চাৰছে
বহুত কিবা কিবি কিন্তু মোৰ ওজি অৰিজিনেল ইনফ্লুৱেঞ্চাৰ তুমি হে না
সেই কাৰণে এইটো মোৰ ওজি এডভাইস
ইয়াত আছে 100% ন্যাচুৰেলি ডিৰাইভড নিম ই হোল সোপ ফ্ৰী আৰু পেৰাবেন ফ্ৰী পিম্পল সাতৰাই স্কিন কৰি তোলে হেলদি হিমালয়া পিউৰিফাইং নিম ফেস ওয়াশ পিম্পলৰ অৰিজিনেল সলিউশন
কোমল ছালৰ স্পেশালতকৈও স্পেশাল অফাৰ এতিয়া 5 ষ্টকৰ বিৱেল সাবুন মাত্ৰ 100 টকাত বিৱেল লোটাছ অইল
आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में बड़े छोटे साथ आओ ऐश करो नाचो गाओ मस्ती में आओ यहाँ बार बार खेलो झूमो कूदो यहाँ मस्ती में
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
Welcome back. Let me go straight to Dr. Baharul Islam. Dr. Baharul Islam, as I said right in the beginning, you know the opposition politics in Assam. You know the entire politics in Assam, but you also know the opposition politics in Assam because you are very closely an observer of the opposition unity efforts, etc., which did not take place this time round in Assam. Now, my question is, okay, we understand that the AIUDF has a very limited, vote space. They have always been, as far as the assembly is concerned, they have been focusing on about 20 seats seriously. And we this time in the Lok Sabha, we have seen that they are only focusing on 3 seats. Now, interestingly, in the seat where Badruddin Ajmal is contesting, that is Dhubri, which has been his stronghold. For now, the BJP doesn't have a candidate, rather BJP's ally has a candidate. Now, my question to you is, whereas the BJP has kept its allies intact, the Congress has absolutely failed to have any kind of alliance except that alliance with the Assam Jatiya Parishad, where they have just left 1 seat, because that seat is contested by a BJP heavyweight. Baharul Islam, can you hear me? Okay, Baharul Islam cannot hear me. Prasenjit Biswat, will you like to answer this question?
Yes. As I was telling you, that Congress has taken all efforts to combine, minus AUDF, the other opposition parties. And you can see that the combined opposition platform is in operation. They're actively politically campaigning. Now, whether the campaign succeeds or not is another matter. But the fact that Lurinjyoti Gogoi, Gaurav Gogoi, Akhil Gogoi have come together, and it has created a ripple among the voters, that is very much observable. No one can deny that. Similarly, in Lower Assam, in Brahmaputra, in Barak Valley, you can see Hafiz Rashid Ahmed Chaudhary is a contestant from Congress party who is like a consensus candidate in Karimganj seat. Similarly, in Dhubri seat, you know about Pradot Bardoloi's possibility of winning again.
Rockibul, not Pradot, Dhubri.
I don't see that Rockibul will win. I can put it in writing that Badruddin Ajmal is going to re-win Dhubri seat. Maybe margin will decrease. But Pradot Babu will win his traditional seat wherever he is contesting. That is also, more or less sure now. So I don't see much of a decline in Congress. Rather, Congress is able to maintain its presence, whatever presence it has. In the Borpeta seat, they could have left it for CPM, but unfortunately, Congress has pitted its own candidate against the CPM candidate, weakening the opposition unity, I would say. So there are glitches in opposition unity. That doesn't mean that opposition doesn't stand together, because at the national level, there's an opposition unity. In spite of various opposition parties fighting differently, there is a collaboration and coordination happening at this point of time. Why all this is happening? Because a large section of Indian voters want that the opposition comes together. That's why it has happened. Same story goes in Assam as well. I would say.
Doctor, I don't know whether I have Baharul Islam back. Okay, Dr. Vikas Tripathi, I'm coming to you, Mayur Bora. Baharul Islam, can you hear me?
Listen to your question. First, a very small point. One point I want to make with respect to my legal brother, Bijan Mahajanji. That protest, when the court is discussing a question, protests have been happening in this country. This is a vibrant democracy. You cannot say that something is being discussed by the court, so nobody should talk about it. There should be mum and silence. We have seen the Kisan Andolan, the court was discussing it and the government withdrawn it because of the public pressure. So that is a kind of fallacy of argument that saying that the court is discussing why you are talking about it.
Can I answer?
No, let him finish.
Later on you can rebut it. Coming to the question Wasbir has put is that yes, BJP was more stronger in or more acute in combining their efforts. Even small parties were given the space, and they have gained from it. Mind it, AIUDF is not an exception. In India, there are 15, 17 odd parties with ND alliance, and similarly small parties are also with the India alliance. At the same point of time, therefore, the spaces of smaller parties are always there. It is a vast country. There are parties with 2 MPs, 3 MPs, part of UPA government, also part of NDA government. So that is the point. But the problem here, what happened from the very beginning, the India alliance had become a non-starter. That they try to identify a small segment. They are good to go with Shiv Sena, but they were bad to go with MIM or AIUDF. That approach was bad. If you have to combine all the opposition parties and their vote, however small share they may be in their pockets,
that
then
is,
you have to
I'll pick that point that India alliance was a non-starter. But Bijon, you wanted to say something very quickly.
No, listen, I am a student of law. If there are definitely there can be better students of law than me. Possibly in this talk show also there are better students than me. Let me clarify. When you knock the courts, knock the doors of a court of law, that to the apex court, thereafter you agitate, meaning thereby, do you want to put those persons who knock the courts of the Honorable Apex Court and at the same time they are agitating?
I get your
point.
Do
they want to put pressure on the court that sway by our movements and give the judgment in our favor? It cannot happen. Listen, courts may not act. This is absolute contempt. Everyone must do their homework well.
No, but let me
knock the courts of when you knock the courts of the Apex Court, thereafter on the same point, same party agitating on the street, this cannot happen. This will be wasted of public time,
that is the point.
public money,
let me
and in fact, it is contempt. It is not fallacy.
Allow me.
I am a student of law. This is my understanding of law, and this is not fallacy.
Allow me, Baharul, please allow me. What I understand is that the organization that has approached the court, whether it is the High Court or whether it is the Apex Court, that particular organization or organizations should not take to the streets. But that cannot prevent others. That cannot prevent others from taking to the streets because those have not moved the court. That is the basic thing. Let me come to you.
Wasbir was still making a point. This point was very much discussed during the Kisan Andolan period. That the people agitating, some of them were also party in the court. And the court has said that agitation is a democratic right. People can do that. Court is not influenced by somebody shouting outside or doing a procession or dharna outside the court. Courts are not so weak that somebody will be doing agitation and they will change the judgment.
With our discussion, let's not.
I mean, twisted. What I am saying is this: if somebody knocks the court, the doors of the court, the same party agitating on the street, the court has never said by knocking the doors of the court, you can also agitate. That's in a different perspective. Let us read the law. Let us read the ratio of a case.
Let us not go into that. Let us
the party who knocks the doors of a court of law,
that will be a legal debate. Let's not go into.
And they are not supposed to agitate.
That will be a legal debate. Let's come back to our political debate. Let's go to Dr. Vikas Tripathi. Dr. Vikas Tripathi, to what extent give your response by taking Assam as a case study. Now, the India alliance becoming a non-starter, how much did it impact the opposition disunity in Assam?
Actually,
of course, Prasenjit will seriously object to the statement of saying that opposition disunity, because we have to see it on the ground, something that is not visible. I'll give you an opportunity to speak on that, Prasenjit, but let's hear from Dr. Vikas Tripathi.
To me also.
So let's, for Prasenjit sir, I want to say, let's make a distinction between electoral and political. There may be political alliance among the opposition parties, but there is no electoral alliance. There is no formal alliance among parties in Assam. Now, why did India alliance come together? They come together to regionalize the election. What do you do by regionalizing election? You contain the national narrative of a BJP, which is a party being driven by a leader with a nationalist ideology, but certainly owing to inability of among parties to forge a clear-cut electoral alliance to come up with a leadership counter to the prime ministerial candidate of NDA. The India alliance as such, could not, take off to the same extent as NDA could. And I am not saying this on in any prejudiced or biased manner. I am saying this on behalf of most of the opinion polls that are being, that are being now visible, and they are showing the real time trend. Now, I think in this election in Assam, there are two major issues. One major issue is that if development is the core agenda and if BJP is organizationally so strong and resilient, why is it going for defection? If on its own BJP is so strong, and
who is going for defection?
No, BJP is taking MLAs or the grassroots workers of the opposition
BJP
parties.
has an open door policy and they are quite open about it.
That's what I'm saying, that this is also a subject matter of study, and the reason is that BJP, as I said, that it is no longer interested in being a majority party. It is now becoming a dominant party which is involved in agenda setting of politics in the state. And there you see that this, to create a perception about invincibility of BJP, which is in alignment with larger objective of 400 par, BJP has been able to create what you say the open door policy. The second major question about AIUDF, and this is something really interesting. Why is AIUDF not fielding candidates in rest of the constituencies? And again, this is not something which is about alliance, but AIUDF is also playing very smart and strategic. This is a strategy of knowing its core strength and retaining its core strength, and that's where that's what adds to AIUDF ability to convert vote share into seat share, because it has territorial concentration of vote share. It is also a strategy to highlight the weakness of organizational character of Congress, that despite leaving so many seats, Congress is not being able to bring back the Hindu voters, the T-tribe voters. And the third and the most important, local component of this election, I suppose, is really about the leadership of HBS. I think I was reading your book, I was reading some articles, I was doing some research on the chief ministers of Assam, and you have written a biography, and there are also few people who have written. Ever since the time of Praful Mohanto, there was never any government in Assam which did not witness factionalism both in the party and in the government. And that is true with Hiteshwar Saikia government, that is true with Tarun Gogoi government, that is true with Sarbanand Sonowal government, that is true with Praful Mohanto government. Now, why today you see that what BJP has been able to attain in Assam is really unprecedented in terms of structure, political structure that it has created. A well-knit organizational party, a party without factionalism, a clear-cut leadership, and it is against this structure that opposition.
That is why it's making other people absolutely.
That is something which is also.
I'm coming to Moyubara. I've got a specific question.
I'm very thankful to you. But one thing I think, after all, English is a foreign language. Mine is Assamese, yours may be a Indian mother tongue. What you say, BJP is not engineering defection. Open door policy, people coming.
I'm not accusing. Sorry, if that is the. I'm not accusing.
The tenor and language. I thought that BJP is in. That was the language.
That is understood. That's understood because he's saying that BJP is taking people.
Open door policy, but no, this thing engineering defection.
No, understood. Now, Moyubara. Now you see. I have been in journalism for 4 decades now. I've covered many elections. Now the point is, every election is to hear about the flood issue. These were election issues. The Brahmaputra dredging, so on and so forth. But now we hear nothing of these issues. We hear about development. We hear about flyovers. We hear about that semiconductor unit with 30,000 crore investments that is coming up in Jagi Road, that is coming up under the banner of the Tatas. We talk about the elevated corridor, 36-kilometer long elevated corridor in Kaziranga. Now, what has the Congress to say to all this? Because can anybody deny? Bahar Islam also, I want you to reply later. But can anybody deny that these things are happening?
No, Wasbir, there is no denying the fact that infrastructural development is taking place. Let us take the example of Guwahati. But whether the required infrastructural development is taking place or it is going much more than what is required. Let me give you an example. The flyover from Handy College to Nunmati, is it required? All the local businessmen are there in there. No. So these cases, this is going to disrupt the business of many local people.
How can you distinguish? No, that is not the point. Point is people.
In the name of development, why should we be so excited about?
The common people, the ordinary people, the Aam Aadmi has the opportunity every 5 years to accept or reject the policies of the government.
And government, as Professor Biswas is telling and Tripathi is also telling, they are very good at creating the narratives and people getting influenced by that.
Do you think people are fools?
I am not saying that. But do you want to deny, Wasbir? Do you want to deny one thing, that citizens have been turned into beneficiaries, and it's a very negative side of welfare state. We don't deny that India should remain as a welfare state, but when you give everything to the people just to make them their voters, I think somebody has to raise a contrarian voice. Professor Tripathi,
so
what he was telling,
who is preventing the opposition?
For that you should call Bhupen Bora and ask him. You have also been observing. You say it.
Who is preventing the opposition? Why are we not hearing this? What you just said? Why are we not hearing these things from the opposition members? So does it not reflect Bahar Islam? Does it not reflect the total failure of the opposition to raise voices?
Freebies are there everywhere, even in Karnataka.
But freebies should be limited. Even that also will protest.
It is under challenge at the apex court. It has gone to a 3 judges bench.
Even Honorable Prime Minister also says reverie.
And freebies are there here in Assam. All BJP rules state as well as
and Prime Minister also says it should go, but it remains. That is the irony.
I'm absolutely
Let me make this point.
Bahar Islam, comment on that.
Yes. Number one thing is that are the people fooled? That fallacy, that is another point. You know, Hitler was elected by a very popular mandate. So 100 years down the line, we are saying the people are fooled. They were not electing a proper person. So that is a very dangerous argument to say what people are doing today. Even court judgments and other things. So emergency was upheld by Supreme Court of India. You can see that now we can say that emergency is bad, but at that time we can shout that yes, court is there and court has said it is good, so it is good. But coming back to the point is that yes, opposition as an unity, they must have been working at half a glass full is always government position. That we have made elevated corridor, we have made this, we have made that. You know the unemployment rate. You know the people of Karimganj, people of peripheral areas, how they travel to Bangalore and others for small jobs. Why we could not create an international border trade hub in Karimganj? Tell me any other district in this country or any other state in this country having an international border like this have to run syndicate, and not all educated graduates are unemployed and they are running syndicates out there. This thing has to be on the forefront of the opposition's narrative. Unfortunately, as I am saying, that the opposition or the political class, they are all engrossed in some kind of, you can say, the traditional, conventional harping on the ruling party and trying to gather votes because other is bad. What is the positive narrative? And that is what is missing in this election.
Right. Final, I'm certainly running. 20 seconds to you. Bahar Islam, I'm running short of time.
That if the unity does not happen, but mind it, the people might vote for a particular candidate. As Mr. Moore was saying, and Professor Biswas was also saying, you will see similar thing happening in Karimganj also. We might be, the political parties might be disunited, but the voters may get united.
That always happens. People sometimes vote for candidates. People sometimes vote for candidates, not parties. That's also we have seen in elections. Final comments from you, Prasenjit Biswas, very quickly.
Very quickly, that a large segment of Indian population will be given free ration actually shows that poverty has increased, purchasing power has gone down. This massive infrastructure that we see around is because of taking loans, more and more loans. There was a debate in Assam Assembly, and the debate and the loan taking was justified by saying that loan can be returned or loan can be retained. Now all this is burdening people.
Okay.
And when you burden people,
Okay,
you
I have
collect
just
extra
absolutely
GST
no time.
to
I'm
other
really
manner.
sorry, Prasenjit. 20 seconds to you, Vikas Tripathi.
I think this election would be really very crucial for Congress party, because if Congress is not being able to perform, then it would really existential crisis for the party, because in the event of Congress not performing and AIUDF at least managing 2 out of 3 seats, Congress would be at a very weak wicket after this election. And for BJP, it is about for BJP this election is not about winning or losing, but about retaining a dominant party structure that they have created in Assam in last 5 to 7 years.
Right. 20 seconds exactly.
No, I'll be less than 20 seconds, 10 seconds. This time, the hustings are yet to take place. But so far the results are concerned, as a citizen and as a BJP supporter, I am 100% sure, 13 seats sure, it can even be 14. And let us not, the judgment of the voters, that is the utmost thing, and we must respect
the verdict.
The manner in
absolutely.
which they
Absolutely. 10 seconds. Only 10
see,
seconds.
As
to
an
you.
ordinary citizen of the country, once the dust settles after the election, I want this majoritarian toxicity and politics of polarization to be diluted at least some extent in the interest of Indian democracy. That is my appeal to all political parties.
That is very good. That is utopian, but let us go to the stage.
This is going to be a very interesting election. Interesting in the sense that this is going to be a much more important election for Assam's main opposition party until recently, that is the Congress, than anyone else. As Vikas Tripathi rightly said, if the Congress draws a blank, and some commentators are predicting that Congress might even draw a blank. We'll have to wait and watch. We cannot predict, because at the end of the day, I always say the voters are the king. We cannot decide. But the point is, in this election, the BJP is absolutely confident. Its allies are intact. And they've given a couple of seats. They've given 3 seats to its allies out of 14, which is a large percentage, I would say. And more than anyone else, this is a battle for survival as far as the Congress in Assam is concerned. And for the AIUDF, I think they know what they are doing. They know their strengths and weaknesses, so they are doing exactly that. The Congress is contesting with the people making claims and counterclaims, but the defections or desertions within the Congress party or prominent leaders like the working president quitting and coming to the BJP, it's a huge boost to the BJP on the eve of the elections. And Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma saying that Bhupen Bora, the APCC president, is himself joining the BJP ahead of the 2026 assembly elections. It is something like setting the cat among the pigeons, and Bhupen Bora is struggling to deny and reject that statement by the chief minister, because he is absolutely worried about its possible impact. On the whole, the people, they are absolutely aware a lot. They know what to do, and we will have to wait for the election results on the 4th of June. I'd like to thank all my panelists for participating in this discussion and the viewers for watching the show. Good night and goodbye.
Good night and goodbye.